Countdown. 7, 6, 5, 4.
Here we go, Roger.
On Insights, two eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
Boy, you never know what's getting ready to come on that intro, do you? I saw you like, wow, he done played a trump card. But this is Mickey Clayton, the coach. And with me, as always, your reporter's favorite Pulitzer Prize winning, grammar teaching, English professor, able to write and talk the talk and walk the walk, Ricardo Brown.
How much I owe you for that, man?
You don't owe me anything because you the man.
How much? I mean that was great. I mean that I'm not gonna even trip off of that one. I love that one.
I need to go back and replay it so I know what the damn hell I said because I don't know. Well, how you doing, man?
Coach? Man,
we gonna have a good show. We got your other buddy with us starting off the show. Earl, the Pearl, Hankerson.
Touchdown.
Earl the Pearl, welcome.
Earl?
Oh
my God, no. I know he can't hear you.
He can't hear. That's on your end. That's not on us. That's not on our end, Earl. That's on you. Everybody else talking. So he can't hear at his house. So that's our fault. Oh, Lord,
Lord, it ain't our fault. Did I do that? It ain't our fault. Did I do that? Sorry, Earl. Come on back, man. Come on back, bro.
Did I do that? I don't know what to tell him, boy. I would say he better sign off and sign back on. I mean, he act like a rookie, like he hadn't done this before. He act like he from Daytona and Bethune-Cookman been rubbing off on him.
Oh! Whoa! Look
he
who
can't
taking
hear,
shots.
so no matter what I say, he can't hear.
Oh, but I love the shots. I love them.
Pow, pow, pow. That's what happens. You know, one thing, we talked about how we kind of turn it into some more social things. We got a lot of feedback about the Kwanzaa show. We got a lot of feedback on that. And a lot of positive things from it. Just in terms of people who commented, said they learned a lot of things that they didn't know before. Listening to Vanessa talk about Kwanzaa and her plans for Kwanzaa and all of that. I mean, we got a lot of things in the AKAs, her Soras, they rallied around her and their support. She had a lot of support from the Lynx, from the AKs, and from the FAMU alums. So she got a lot of really, really good feedback. But somebody took the time to write an extended commentary, and I'm going to share it with everybody. And it's a good show. In expanding on what Ms. Woodard said, was the emphasis on the warping of the Black psyche since slavery still has residual effects today, since Blacks were stripped of every cultural bond and identification. This process continues today, in which Blacks are denied very basic human rights as true citizens of America. Sports provide some avenues for success and acceptance, but these are short-lived, and since athletes' careers remain 3 to 7 years with nothing to fall back on when it's over. What this means is that more conversation and discussion needs to focus on the disadvantages from slavery to this day and things that could be done to overcome them. In short, Kwanzaa is not a one-day affair or a few Swahili words that are not grounded in the African American experience. It should be integrated into everyday life. That's pretty deep. Come on, reporter. Give me a thought.
No. You know, I'm gonna bring it. I told you, Coach, and we argue. Well, no, we don't. We don't argue because you know I'm gonna come the way I come. While there are some things in there I totally agree with, there are some things that are questionable, and that's okay because everyone has their opinion, and that is fine. I think a lot of times we're in this culture that things has to be is either right or it's wrong, or I can't, if I disagree with you, you're wrong, and that's not right. There, we do need to have a discussion, but after that discussion, we need to move and put some action into it. I mean, talking the talk is all right, but then what you gonna do after that talk? So there's a lot of things in there that you have to decipher to move forward. So
okay, what was your feeling on what we had from our guest last week?
see, one thing that really struck me was that it doesn't have to be just a 1 week thing. It can be an everyday, and we should incorporate it into our lives. I recently got into Kwanzaa maybe 7 years ago, and trying to celebrate each day. Now my next step is to incorporate that into everyday life. And once I do it, then I can help teach others, and we can be better off. I think it's something positive. I do. Earl,
Yes, sir.
he's back.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but especially since I'm sitting here texting him, asking him, "Can you hear?" ? Can you hear? Trying to find out without having him answer that live on the program, But like I say, he from Daytona.
Well, you didn't take the cue of the head nod, Coach. I don't know what else to tell you.
It's called texting like you did before, head nod.
I know you see this. I know you see this fresh dome nodding his head. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking. Listen. Y'all having great conversation.
Look like a bobblehead doll with his head bobbing.
Listen, y'all having great conversation, and it seems to sound like it's pretty deep. The show last week was pretty good, but y'all can't come on here throwing punches, shooting, taking shots, and y'all laughing and having a good time, and I'm stuck here in the back in the green room back here. That just don't work for me. I want it to be a part of the fun.
Well, you first got to be able to handle your own computer hookup. You're not a rookie. You've done this before. Then
I know it. Man, anyway, let's move on. Hey, listen, Coach.
Hey, you're going to say let's move on after he went down the street.
I think you got that.
Around the corner, around the block.
Listen, you got a great Rick. Doesn't he have the coolest office with his background and his setup? Now I'm not quite sure why he continues on with this Brown stuff, but it's no different than me and my Miami Dolphins, who I have placed on indefinite suspension. I don't even want to talk about the Dolphins until maybe August. So
anyway, that's all right.
I just had to throw that out there. I like your background, Coach. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. But speaking of the background, was that not Everybody keeps saying it was the best NFL playoff weekend ever.
Oh.
And the bad part, I hate to admit, is I missed every game Saturday.
My goodness.
I got a daughter. She's coaching a team, so that's where I was.
Understand?
But I know the ones that I saw Sunday, I'm in there yelling and screaming. Like, who could imagine games that were going like they were?
Well, you were not alone.
Yeah, because we were texting each other.
All 4 games. I mean, all 4 games. I mean, it was like last week was just like the JV or even middle school, and then you jumped up to college in the NBA with these games. They were
amazing.
And I hate saying this was the best that I've covered or best that I've seen, because I've covered a lot of games, but all four? I mean, you couldn't get any better than I have to fall in line with everybody else. It was the best I have in my 50 plus years that I've seen.
Spectacular.
Incredible.
And one of our number 1 fans, Dr. Chiquita Miller, Cairo, Georgia, Florida A&M University graduate, Rattlerette basketball player, already commenting. You know, you can't say much because she said, how about those Kansas City Chiefs? Dr. Chiquita Miller, we bow and pay all homage, and you have been on them. That is one of your teams, and you have been on them from the beginning, and we really appreciate you and your continued support.
Thank you. But how do you lose a game in 13 seconds?
13 seconds.
Well, they didn't think they had lost it. They were pretty cocky about that. They had came back and had won that one. It was pretty much over. The only question was when they were lining up for the kickoff, and I hate to say this after the fact because I'm not a football coach, but I said, I know they're going to squib kick. Only because anything else, I said, now, I'm thinking if you squib kick, you telling people to recover and lay down, take a timeout right away because you don't want anybody trying to do anything and lose time. And they kicked the ball out of the end zone. And I was like, okay, I hope that doesn't come back to bite them. And it did.
Like a pit bull.
Say, like a pit bull.
Two plays later. All she wrote.
I mean, and the funny thing is, the tight end Kelsey, he was mic'd up. And he had said, before they went out, he told the cheetah, he said, look, they're going to play you this way, fake out, and then come inside. I'm going to block for you. That was the first play. Called timeout. He yelled to the quarterback, Mahomes. He said, yo, they're playing, the seam is going to be open. The seam is going to be open. And then you can hear Mahomes at the line of scrimmage say, do it, Kels, do it. Bam. Field goal range. History. I was like, wow. He called it.
And Chiquita, I love her because she still comes. She's writing down the roster. Patrick Mahomes, Reed, Tyreek, Kelsey. She's just writing their names down. I don't blame her. She got every reason to be proud of her team and how they've responded.
Listen, I'm renaming Tyreek. I know they call him the Cheetah. I'm calling him Jetpack.
Well, remember I told you, drove to Kansas City, see the opening game with the Browns in Kansas City. They are absolutely fanatical in that stadium.
Yeah.
And I mean, fanatical. And I mean, it's amazing even to get in and get out. And we talk about some of the things at our game day operations at FAMU. They had them same little portalets. And they are lined up 100 and 200 deep to get in the bathroom. I mean, so even at our level,
I'll hold it.
What is it? You'll hold it. Yes, say. So see, we learning a little bit more how to put some things up there. See, there go Dr. Chiquita Miller.
Yeah.
There go Dr. Chiquita Miller, a Rattlerette all the way through. But before we move on, let's move on. Did you think the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame was going to do the right thing?
No. I knew all along. All along. It's ridiculous. It's just almost just like the Pete Rose situation. At the end of the day, everybody knew what was going on, Coach. And with these guys, Barry Bonds in particular, I still don't. I never understood how is it that they were cheating by putting this clear cream or whatever. It wasn't about making them hit the ball better. It was about making them recover quicker. I never understood that. But what I did understand is that all the while, you hitting all these home runs and creating all this hysteria around the game, and you making a ton of money doing it, and they know that you're doing it. So I tell you what, if you don't want to put them in the Hall of Fame, calculate all of the dollars that they created for Major League Baseball and spread it out among some organizations or something. Give the people their money back that put the money in the pockets of Major League Baseball. This is ridiculous. And I'm done.
Well, my thing is this. How can it be a museum if you have a museum? A museum is supposed to be a place that tells history. So this baseball museum, Hall of Fame museum, you don't have the all-time leading hitter there, which I really don't have a problem with because he had power to influence games.
Okay.
And so I don't have a problem with Pete Rose. But
you don't have a problem with Pete Rose not being
in there. Yes.
Okay.
Barry Bonds, you don't have the all-time leading home run hitter, the single season leading home run hitter in Bonds, the guy with the most Cy Youngs pitching.
Clemons.
I mean, how can you call yourself a museum? A historical baseball is supposed to be so no, you can't without these people. I think they blew it there, but the veterans have put them in eventually. But I think they missed it this time. They really missed it this time.
Well, when the race was going on to shatter the home run record, as a commentary was said, it was the #1 lead story, not on sports, but on CBS, ABC, and NBC News.
Yeah, that's right.
It was the #1 news story of the country. And and they shattered it, not by a home run or two, but by 10%.
Yeah.
And as one of the baseball players said, he said, they holding it against him, but you still have to hit the ball.
Right.
Hello.
You still have to hit the ball. They were all-stars. And they said even before he went on that, he was a Hall of Famer before that.
Yeah.
Did he do it? Yeah, you could see all the evidence. His head size got so much bigger and everything else. I mean, it was, and even Roger Clemens, you still had to throw a strike. And they were saying, somebody was saying it was more people in the minor leagues who were users than in the major leagues, from people trying to use it to get to the league.
Yeah.
And that they never did get good enough to get there. To get good enough to get there. So I mean, it doesn't, I mean, if they had voted them in and everybody just knew everybody knew that came during the steroid era, then it just came during the steroid era.
Correct. Just say that. But that's all you have to do.
Correct.
Just say that. But look, how do you let Ortiz in?
That's a good question.
2009, he was one of the 100 who they said did.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't test positive after, but Bonds didn't either. Clemons didn't either. So
none of those ever did test positive, did they?
No. It's just the hypocrisy of it all is what bothers me. I'm like, Rick, just say it. If that's what it's going to be, and that's how you recognize them getting in, then just say so. But you can't know that they're doing these things and then hold them accountable for what you know that they're doing.
Celebrate that they're doing it.
Celebrating it.
Having a big woo.
Absolutely.
And then after the fact, where you know you're wrong, coach, you know you are wrong. You're wrong.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
That's bullshit. It is. And those are my writers. And I'm ashamed for most of them because it's bullshit. And they know it. They know it. They know it.
The last component that we'll save after our guest, Earl, we sure would like for you to be here, but we know you have a prior commitment. But we want to touch on HBCU football and some of the games that they are scheduling. Well, you know that Florida A&M opens the season where?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Chapel Hill.
And then where do we play the next week?
Miami.
Miami. Welcome to Miami.
Good move, bad move.
Man,
okay,
I'm indifferent.
Rick, why you say bad move?
Because a lot of people could get hurt against Carolina, a lot of key people, and then you're going straight into SWAC competition against a team that you lost to before, who were the SWAC champions. I think you need to be at full strength there.
Yeah, but see, I'm indifferent to that, and I tell you why. Again, at the level that we're recruiting, and these guys are supposed to be really good, you want to play those games, and at some, you got to play it at some point. And to me, as a coach, it doesn't matter when you play it. And I want to be just as good, 2 deep, as I am with my starters. So that just means I got to do a better job of prepping my team and making sure that everybody's ready to go.
Bullshit.
Y'all call it what you want. I'm not backing out of the game.
And I didn't say backing out of the game. You said good decision, bad decision. As a coach, Jackson State, their whole preseason, everything they do prep will be for the first game of the season, which will be FAMU.
Okay, and we
will not do that. We will be trying to make sure that we're competitive on the field against North Carolina. And having played games, been on the sideline with Billy Joe when we were getting kids killed at University of Miami. Tyrone McGriff, we talked about it when he was on the show with us. When he got hurt, they told Billy Joe told the trainer to take his helmet, put it on the damn bus, lock it up, because he gonna try to take his ass back out there. And I'm gonna need him next week. So as a coach, I hear what you're saying, but as a coach, for me, I would not want not. They consulted with him, and the only reason we played the first game of the season, that's probably the only time that they really wanted to play that game, and we needed the money. That's 95% of it, calling a spade a spade. We needed the money, so we played them whenever they needed a date. If we had a date available, we went for it. Let's hope that it doesn't backfire on us.
I think we're going to be just fine, gentlemen. I think you got to play top competition. You challenge yourself, and you let the chips fall where they may. So that's just my take on it.
You sound like an administrator who hadn't coached. And
he sounds like an athletic director. Yeah, let the chips fall where they may. Yeah,
be all right.
Now, our quarterback get hurt, the running back get hurt, and we go 3-7, and they screaming for your job. All right, homeboy.
We're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I hope that we are. We hope that we are, but we walk that tightrope, and it is a tightrope.
It is.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. See, we were able to get that in, but one of the things we got today is we got a couple of young ladies on here from Rickards that and one of them you recommended to me to do a story on. What I'd like for you to do is tell everybody why you recommended this particular young lady and introduce her to everybody.
All right, Coach, listen, I'll start like this. How could I be so lucky As a teacher, as an educator, you look for opportunities to mold students and to give them a chance to do better, to prepare for the future. And I often say to my students, what they do in the next 4 to 6 years is going to determine the next 40 to 60 years of their life. But how can I be so lucky to come across this particular young lady who came into my college prep program with some goals and aspirations and dreams and was really focused? A lot of times we have to focus and refocus our students. But this particular young lady stayed steady all the way through, and now she is reaping the benefits. And it's so funny because when we were going through the process, she had really kind of had no idea how it was going to turn out. And I told her all the while, everybody is going to be coming to try to put the full court press on you to get you to come to their school. And no doubt that definitely happened. And so I am really, really super proud of this young lady. And I'm going to turn over to you, Coach, because you're going to be very impressed. And our Insights family is going to be very impressed tonight. None other than Miss Curtisa Brown.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I got some good news, Coach Hank.
Tell the world about it. What's the good news?
I just got an internship at Craig J. Brown Law Firm this summer.
Check out. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
That's what we do.
Well, tell us what you're at Florida State, and tell us what you're doing at Florida State. Talk to these people. Nobody has any idea who you are, what you're doing. We want you to tell them.
Well, I'm a first-year student at Florida State University, but right now I'm classified as a sophomore and will soon be a junior. So I'm applying to the Degree in 3 program to graduate at least by 2023 to get my degree in criminology. After undergraduate school, I plan to go to law school. Right now, I'm just doing a bunch of things to start practicing for law, like the internship. I just joined this organization called Phi Alpha Delta. It's a law fraternity. What else am I doing? I also have a job. I also volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm just really doing a lot to keep myself busy and start building my resume again, aside from the things I did in high school. And I'm also starting to study for the LSAT, which is the test to get into law school. So right now I'm just really trying to get in the routine of, staying busy and creating this set schedule for me to reach the goals that I have in 1 or 2 years.
Well, tell us some more about what Coach Hankerson told us. And that was about the things that you do, the clothes you gather and you raise for. And I'll let you tell people what you raise and gather those clothes for and what got you started doing that.
So in 2019, I became the Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Club. And every Youth of the Year creates some organization to have an impact on the youth of today. And so to me, homeless people in my community was the biggest thing that I cared about. Growing up on the South Side, I saw so many people, not having any money, not having any food, just basically living in poverty. So I started Help the Nation Foundation, particularly aiming at women. So we were raising like hygienic products, food, clothes, and like winter clothes and things like that. But then it expanded to all kinds of things. Like this past Christmas, we even served hot food to them. And right now we have a drive trying to save up like socks, blankets, coats, and everything like that. So just helping out the homeless people in my community, whether it's the people at the homeless shelter or the people who I literally see laying on the streets. I like to see it as my way to give back while I'm still technically living in my community because I'm in school in town. So yeah, Help the Nation Foundation is my way to give back to the people. who I know as my home.
That's that's outstanding. So you developed a foundation for that?
Yes.
And what's the name of the foundation, and how can people find out more about it?
Help the Nation Foundation. People can find out more by emailing us at helpthenationfoundation@gmail.com. Right now, I'm trying to register as a student org here at FSU to have more volunteers and to actually create a full team of people in the e-board, to get more exposure out there.
So what got you? You just wanted to give back. Something had to pull at your heartstring to say, I need to help. What pulled you?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of people, neighbors and people like smack in my community who, suffered from poverty and homelessness. And we had this real close family friend. And we watched her struggle with drugs and abandonment from her family. And she slipped into homelessness, and she's been homeless now for about 20 years. And so I got a job and I started doing all these great things in my community. And I thought, well, the benefits that I'm getting, I should do something to help these people in need. I should, take whatever I have to help the next person, even if I'm not making as much money. I thought I'll create a platform where all of us in the community, all of these donors can come together and help these individuals.
Coach Hankerson, one of her strongest attributes is her being as humble as she is. All of the things that she was talking about, she didn't even mention this. And had I not known about it from my discussion with you, she probably wouldn't have said anything about it at all. And this is one of those defining things that actually, kind of tells a lot about your character. Coach, what do you have to say about this with this particular young lady?
Just awesome. I mean, I know talking and having our discussions in class is when I found out about it. And I know I immediately wanted to try to do what I could to help. And it's just so refreshing that many times our students, or just young people in general, it's all about me. And what can I get? And how can I get this and get that? But Curtisa is just the opposite. She wants to give back. And at such a young age, she's definitely going to be blessed and highly favored for everything that she's doing. And I think it shows in what she has going now. Was a really, really great student. She had an impact on our campus where if there was something that she needed, everybody was jumping to try to help her out, or whomever had her best interest there in mind. And it's paying off for her. It's paying off through scholarship. It's paying off in her merits. It's paying off with this internship. It's just everything's going to get better and better for Curtisa as long as she while she continues to do what she does. So just very proud of her, Coach. I'm just smiling from ear to ear.
Curtisa,
thank you so much.
Look at her. She has a nice big old grin on her face. I love it.
And dimples.
And blushing. A couple of things I'd like you to answer. One, tell us some things that you learned at Rickards that has helped you where you are today and helping to develop you as a person and as a student.
Sure. At Rickards, I was in the IB program. So it's a very rigorous program. There's a lot of homework, a lot of projects, a lot of things you have to explore individually. You didn't have a lot of help and a lot of, teachers holding your hand. So you had to figure out everything on your own. You had to do a lot of research. And so I know Coach Hank remember me, complaining about this all the time. But one thing Coach Hank really taught me was to just like live in a moment and to like be have faith and be hopeful about things and not just worry about it. He would always tell me, you know, like things going to come your way. You just have to take it one step at a time. Finish this one thing, go to the next thing. Like that's something I really learned in the AVID program. Especially when we came to college. You know, I had a lot of worries about applying to college and how the first year would be. But I went in really humbled because Coach Hank told me, like, everything is not going to be as you think it is. Like, you may think you're going to meet a great group of people and have fun every day. Like, it's not like that. Just always, you know, stay focused on the main goal and work towards that goal. And I guess the most important thing is to believe in yourself. You know, there's a lot of people out here telling you what you can and what you can't do. Whether it's family, friends, professors, people at the school, you know, just me having that sense of faith in myself and just believing that I can do what I set out to do. That's something I really, really take from Rickards and Coach Hank personally.
Okay. You almost answered the next question, psychic as you are. I was going to ask you about advice you would give to other students going off to college, especially those first year, that adjustment, that first year leaving home and going to school.
The biggest piece of advice I can give to students going off to college is doing what you want to do and not being influenced by other things to make you do something you don't want to do. So basically, being sure in the things that you like to do, being sure that this is for you and this is not for you, you know, because I feel like when you get to college, there's so many things that pressure you and so many things out there that you feel like you have to try when you really don't. So I really would just say to all graduating high school seniors to like just stay true to yourself and try your hardest not to let anything change you. Because one thing I learned last fall semester is you do one thing and it'll take months or almost a year to create that mistake. Like I'm telling you, it could really impact you. So just staying true to yourself and not letting other people influence you and being sure about knowing what you want is what I would say.
Dr. Miller, if you're on, you got a comment you want to leave to her, type it down for us and we'll give it to her. You hear us refer to one of our avid listeners, Chiquita Miller from Cairo, Georgia, started at University of Central Florida, transferred to Florida A&M, played basketball for me. She's now Dr. Chiquita Miller and is really, really supportive of our young ladies and trying to continue their education and continue on. She will probably say something, but we also see there's somebody on there is giving a shout out to you.
Coach,
and we wanted you to be able to see that.
That's my sister.
Listen, that's the Barbie doll right there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, she was in my program, in our program as well. And she is equally just as awesome, coach. Mm-hmm. So you got two really great girls right there.
I would say that goes back to what's going on at home.
That's right.
Sometimes you come from that family environment that they're not going to allow you to slip or to fail, and they're going to be there to encourage you and pick you up. And even if you do fall, they're going to get you up so that you don't stay down long.
Yeah, unfortunately, she was all set to go to Florida Atlantic, and of course, what hit? COVID. Yeah, but she hey Barbie doll.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come to us and talk to us. We really are interested, excited, and supportive of these things that you're doing. Actually, when Hank talked to me about it over the golf course, I was just kind of speechless. And I said, well, we need to get her on. And it kind of goes along with what we were talking about in terms of how we want to expand what we do on our show in terms of using it as a platform to highlight a lot of things that are positive that are going on in the community that a lot of times the media is not showing and covering it. So they don't have to. We'll cover it and we'll show it. And we wanted to highlight you. And we're very, very proud of you and your accomplishments. Is there anything you'd like to say to your listening audience? Because once it goes up, I mean, it's going to be up there forever. So they will see it forever and come back. What message would you like to give or anything that you would like to say?
Yes, I was just going to say, one more thing I'd like to add is, when you see episodes like this, and even with celebrities on TV, everybody think, oh, she's so successful, she's so positive. But I really want to share like my experience as like a growing adult and the things I went through after high school. One of the things, I always had real bad anxiety. Like one of those things where, there's always bad thoughts flowing through your mind, all that self-doubt and, not being sure if you could do the things, letting those intrusive thoughts into your head. In this past year, in 2021, that was something I really struggled with my first and second semester in college. My anxiety got really bad. And, that stuff can get dark. Anxiety, depression, unfortunately, sometimes it leads to suicide because nobody wants to talk about it. People are embarrassed to talk about it. People are embarrassed to get help. So I just want to let it be known that, like, I deal with those things too. Like, I'm still struggling with anxiety, and I'm now trying to take steps to I guess make it better. I'm trying to do therapy and, exercising more to relieve some of that stress and to erase some of that self-doubt. So I just want everybody to know who's out there dealing with this, that you're not the only one and you shouldn't be embarrassed about it. And you should definitely seek help if you need it.
Wow, that takes a lot for you to come out and say that, and we appreciate it. Along that line, we have another student that we interviewed and was probably one of my more difficult interviews because it hasn't had the positive ending yet. We are hopeful that it will get to it, but she still wanted to do the interview and talk about some of the difficulties that she had transitioning from high school to college. And it's not an easy job, and it's not easy to do. And a lot of times nobody talks about it. And one of the things that we wanted to emphasize was for you and Charmaine also to be able to talk to some of these students, some of them so that you could tell them what's going on. People just see the end product. They see you doing these things and they don't see the other side of what's going on with you. And even with us, I mean, the things that we have to deal with. And on that side, along with what I'm telling you, it becomes a thing with you that as you get older, it does not get easier for you. Things continue to come on your plate. And so as you get older, you hopefully learn some techniques and strategies to help you deal with it. Because you also have so much to give. And there's so much within you, that light that's shining that we see in your eyes right now that will shine. And you're going to continue to do things to change the world. It only takes one person to make a change, to make a difference. So we want you to continue to be who you are. You're affecting the people that you don't even know. Some of these that are making comments that we're sharing with you, that are appreciative of you and your time with us.
And I got you, girl.
I know, Coach Hank. Email away.
Oh, that's up. Hey, tell them your email address again if they want to get involved with what you're doing.
Oh, yes. That's helpthenationfoundation@gmail.com.
All right.
And we appreciate you being with us. And at some point, we're going to need to have you back. But we also have another student from Rickards to come up. So make sure you probably know her.
Hey, that's nice.
You probably know her. Thank you, but we're going to be right back.
Have you thought about improving the curb appeal of your home or business? If so, call Hank. My pressure washing service will give your property a fresh look that you are needing at an affordable price. Just take a look at some of these improvements. If you are in need, give Hank a shout. I'll get you right.
Good morning.
With me today, I have a young lady from Tallahassee Rickards High School, Charlene Falston, one of the more personable young ladies we have met in the 5 or 6 years that we've been doing Insights. It seems like we always seem to meet a young lady from Rickards that really kind of stands out personality-wise. And she's a young lady who's done it. Every time we show up, she would always come and speak and talk to us. And we wanted to welcome Charmaine to the show.
Hi.
Look at her blushing. Tell us, the last we saw you, you were hurt. And then when we saw your dad, he told us you were in college playing basketball. We were really happy for you. But tell us what happened. We missed something during that, us taking that hiatus in COVID-19. We kind of missed how you ended up where you are. Tell us about it, please.
After I graduated, I went straight to surgery. And when I got out of surgery, I went through rehab and therapy quickly. I was working out. One of my coaches sent a flyer about Andrew College having a tryouts, and I just took the opportunity. Coach loved what I produced, and she wanted me. So I just took the opportunity and went.
Okay. See you on so far.
It's going pretty good. It's a little shaky too, but we're just getting through trying to play team ball, make sure we use all our pieces.
I like that. Use all your pieces. So what's shaky about it?
We just need to learn how to not rush things and use patience, use the time, stop trying to rush everything, because the game is going to come to you if you just use it and stop trying to force everything.
Okay, so what is it you're studying at Andrew?
I'm studying liberal arts.
Okay, what is it you want to do when you graduate?
I honestly want to become a lawyer.
Why?
I love to prove my point. I love to argue. I love to make sure that I'm right. Even if I'm wrong, I would try to prove myself to know that I'm right.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about what's it like being away from home?
It's a new experience. I'm so used to big talent everywhere, everything being near you, versus in Cuthbert, you have to drive just to go get something to eat, drive just to go to the store. Like, there's nothing around here. It's just trees, dirt roads, trains, cows, everything.
Well, in a situation like that, that should allow you or have you an opportunity where you study a lot better. You don't have as many distractions.
Well, I'm not playing no more because of eligibility. I just think I couldn't get my grades together. And it just caught up to me. It's just taught me to be more focused in my books and make sure I'm ahead of everything, so I wouldn't be in this predicament. And it's just allowing me to view the game more on the bench than on the court. It shows me that everything happens for a reason, and it's just giving me another opportunity to get back focused and get right on and off the court. When you get an assignment, you can go ahead and do it then. Do not procrastinate. Do not try to waste time. Go ahead and get it done, so you will have as much free time as you can to sleep, joke around, do whatever you need to do, but make sure your grades come first.
Okay, what would you do differently?
I would study more. I would get up early, go to the library. I would do my work. instead of trying to do it on my own in a hostile environment, too much talking, I would go to a quiet area and just read, focus, do my work.
It sounds like you've learned some lessons from this experience.
Yeah, it's a life experience.
Now, I see the kind of sadness about you as you kind of think some more about the situation you're in. But out of that adversity, you've been in adverse situations before. Who would have thought you would tear your knee up your senior year and still end up getting a chance to go off to school to play basketball? I mean, you were kind of in the basketball graveyard, and you stood up from that and persevered and still had an opportunity to live your dream. But out of it, you can't forget what your primary purpose in terms of being there is. So there's still a story. Your story isn't written yet. It's just a chapter in it. What happens in it now is up to you. But you could do it again and come out of it again. And out of everything, I appreciate you taking the time to share that story with other people, because you're a Tallahassee girl. You from Rickards, you from Southside. You know, so you know that you have to fight those odds to be successful every day. All right?
Yes, sir.
And see, then you told me about Cuthbert. You know, it's not a lot to do. So getting your work now, if you was in Atlanta, Miami or something, you was always doing something, it'd be horse of a different color. You don't have anything else to do but do your work. Sometimes God put you in them places to help you grow and accentuate your own positiveness.
Right.
But you got to pull it out from within you. That's a cloth you cut from. All you know is to work hard to get what you want, Pumpkin. That's all you've ever done. Okay, so as you get ready for next year, what is your goal working towards next year?
Making sure I stay on top of my book work and just getting better in the off season.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you how much I appreciate you talking to us, and I'm glad before we left I could see a little smile, because I'm feeling your pain a little bit. But I've had a lot of athletes we've had over the day within your same situation and come out of it and do well. So it's up to you.
Yes, sir.
You could do it. I'm betting on you. Yeah. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm betting on you. So, I mean, I appreciate you taking time. We know you're gonna do well. You got to do well. I'll drive to Cuthbert and see you play. I won't be riding with your daddy. I just ride on over there and come see you play. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And we'll talk to you again next year, and you'll be telling us how you doing and how you on the honor roll.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Charmaine.
You're welcome.
Hey, nothing but love for you, Pumpkin. Why are you laughing, Rick?
I'm laughing for two things. Number one, you almost made that girl cry, man. I mean, you came down like a father, and then you came like a coach, and then you came back like a father and said, a father with daughters, and said, okay, Pumpkin, you're gonna be okay. But you know what? Something that you said about her determination is that you know she can do it. I mean, she came from a daggone knee injury her senior year and still got a scholarship. So she can fall down. I mean, hell, we all fall down. But what do the great players do when they fall down? They get up before anybody else come up. You know, this stuff now in the NBA or places, they fall down and they wait for people to pick up. No, we get up.
Mm-hmm.
We get up. And Charmaine's going to get up. I believe in her. And seeing that glimmer, I know she has it in her. So I'm looking forward to following up on that and seeing her succeed, because I know she will.
It was a difficult interview for me, as you could tell. I was not, when she told me she wasn't eligible, I was floored. We actually had been missing each other since before Christmas, trying to do an interview with her. My dad gave me a number, and it wasn't I put the wrong number in, and he gave me another number. I texted. I saw her at Christmas at the Capital City Classic, and I was fussing with her because she didn't return my text, and she was saying, "Coach, I never got a text." So she pulled out her phone. I pulled out my phone. She said, "Coach, that's not my number again." So we finally got it together, because I just thought she was an interesting story to tell based on her. She might not have played 2 or 3 games her senior year. She blew her knee out. And when I heard she was somewhere playing, I was like, there's a story in here to tell that we wanted to share. And when she told the grades, see, what I envisioned the story to be wasn't the story that I was told that God wanted me to tell and wanted her to tell. And it's the story of being able to have redemption and come back from it. And for her to be in that position to come back and do it. And I struggled with doing the story, because we try to stay on the side of being positive, but we thought that if it was a story that we could tell that might help somebody else, she had told me to go ahead and do the story. So where you could see her, I couldn't get off the phone till the glimmer came back, and it was in my voice. I mean, if you notice, it didn't show me at all, because it was kind of a difficult story to do. But we just have to be able to stay in terms of doing what they need to do, and emphasizing that. And the story sometimes that you learn from somebody else is somebody who did not do what they were supposed to, and what happens as a result of you not doing what you need to do academically. And as Dr. Miller says, you see it right there, academics is a key. We must always be student athletes 100% of the time.
But there are obstacles in our way for a reason, and sometimes it may take us a little longer to get there. But there's something about her that in that little 5-10 minute clip that you can see that she wants to be successful, and it hurts her that she's not right now, but she's overcome this before. And you saying, we do positive stories, and I think this is one, because it tells, not only can it curtails some pitfalls if you don't do what you're supposed to do, and there's consequences to every action, but there's redemption, like you mentioned, that the story isn't written yet. I mean, this is just a chapter, maybe not even a chapter, a paragraph. The rest is still to come. So that's why I was smiling and laughing as well, because the future is still there for both Charmaine and Curtisa. I mean, you can be successful in a lot of different ways, and some get it right off bat. Some it may take a couple more steps, but you just keep stepping. If you keep stepping, you're going to keep moving forward. Charmaine, if you're looking, keep moving forward, sweetheart. You're going to be fine.
And one of the things I did say, which is true, the relationship that we have with Rickards High School, as you see, former athletic director Earl Hankerson, isn't the same as we have everywhere. We have good relationships a lot of different places, but Rickards was always just a little different. And we always had some young ladies on the Rickards team that always came and spoke. We got a couple at Florida High like that. I always say we got one at Florida High, known her since she was a baby. And shoot, she don't half speak. But you got some other ones that, come and speak and nod and stuff. And those kids that are special by us, we try to be special with them. We appreciate them and how they are. I mean, we really do. And again, we appreciate all of them, the people who've been a part of what we've done with Insights and still continuing to support us. As even now we're getting out more and more, doing some high school games of the weeks and getting to see the kids. And we got a game coming up with McClay and North Florida Christian. That's tomorrow. And our buddy Gene Granger, coach, he's not even going to be there. One of the kids ran into him on the sideline, knee to knee, and crushed his knee. He's having surgery tomorrow. You know how urgent that is for them to operate on less than a week on a knee. You know, the doctors don't want him to. So he's done. But one of the kids got it. But we're enjoying being out and being able to see the kids and be out and do some things, being able to see them. And so we really do appreciate that. So we appreciate y'all. Continue to be with us. Follow us. Oh, the Lakers beat the Nets, so you don't pull out a Lakers shirt, huh?
No. 2 years ago today, Kobe, his daughter, 7 passengers died. Just giving props to 24. That's it.
Hey, that's a good one. We appreciate that. Rick, we appreciate you. And as we head off, you know, we will get ready again for next week's show and to bring something else interesting to y'all. Make sure that y'all continue to be with us. And we'll go from there.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you, Rick.
All the readers and watchers, thank you. Appreciate y'all. Until next time.
Till next time.
Both teams getting ready to come back out on the floor. We got 3 minutes before we
Lanaya Lee. That's it.
Game of the week, whatever you want to say.
They do, but they're still growing.
Your attention, please. Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS. 2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
Insights is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent the independent thoughts and representation.
Talk.
We appreciate everybody. Good night. Be safe.
Peace.